Hi guys, this is Jackie from techjackie.com and I'm doing a video on SEO. First of all, if you're brand to this channel, make sure to press the subscribe button below so when I release a new SEO video like this, you get notified. Right, so in today's video, I like to go through the top 5 SEO problems based on hundreds of SEO audits that I've been doing over the past 5+ years doing a professional SEO. Right, so as you can see, this is one of my recent clients. As you can see, this client faced some drops here due to some core updates. After some of the audits, and then, I started working on the website. The site's been coming back on track and pretty much starting to surpassing the old data here as well. So, and also, if you're still wondering about my credibility, here's my website. I have a dedicated SEO case studies section here. I release new SEO case studies regularly on my website, on my YouTube channel. You can check out some of my previous videos as well. So I've been doing SEO for the past 5+ years, and I've been doing SEO using scientific method, which basically try to understand how the algorithms work, reverse engineer it, and then get the results, right? So without further ado, here's my top five SEO problems based on my hundreds of SEO audits. Number one, focusing too much on blogs. Right, so a lot of clients who have come to me over the past few years, especially the last 1 or 2 years, they've been heavily focusing on blogs, right? Like, for example, they would be like, a simple local type websites or an e-commerce website or, general business websites. But then, they would just be focusing a lot on blogs and pretty much ignoring their main pages. So the thing here is, so let's say if I draw, their website architecture. So let's say they have their home page here, and then they would have a couple of pages. Let's say it's a service-based business. So let's say under service they would have like 5 or 6 service pages, and then maybe location pages if they do local SEO, right? So location pages, and then there's a blog here. The thing here is, first, obviously, they do a little bit of SEO to their services pages, a little bit of SEO to their location pages, but then, they don't do a lot or they don't do enough to them. Like they just do some bare minimum of work to these pages. And what I mean by work here is not just about on page, right? They might just think, oh, just write content and then, maybe build a few links or a little bit of off page here and there, and that's it. And the rest of their efforts are focused on publishing, working on the blogs, and keep on pumping content out, which in reality it doesn't have to be like that, right? Like they think that by putting in a lot of blogs on their website, they're basically going to help these service pages somehow. Well, maybe in there, even though there's some truth or there's some truth to that, it's not a lot. Like it's very few that if you keep on pushing out content and then you're building what we so call as topical authority, quote unquote topical relevance, right? All these fancy terms put out there by a lot of SEO guys and stuff like that. Even though there's some truth to this, but just by just pumping out blogs and blogs over and over again, especially if you're just a simple local type business or e-commerce website, it's not going to really do anything much to your commercial pages. In fact, by having so many of these articles on their website, what they're ended up causing is a lot more problems, which I'm going to discuss in the fifth part. It creates what we call bloat index, but I'll touch on this a little bit later. But it also adds a lot of burden to their website in a sense of, let's say when we do the audit, where we have to do the cleanup, all these articles. And what's even worse than that is a lot of them also like to use AI content, generate all these AI content, which further lowers down the overall website quality. In reality, they shouldn't just be paying attention to wasting their time creating more blogs or using crap AI content just to generate all this in the name of topical relevance. But they should be focusing on these pages, right? The pages that matter the most to their business or their bottom line, right? Like, recheck your on page. Even though you might think you have done enough on page, you might not, right? Maybe you might have to seek somewhere else for the knowledge, right? Like maybe your on page might not be good enough yet. You might have to dive deeper into more, more deeper on page knowledge, for example. What about off page? Have you done enough of backlinks? Have you done enough of brand building, etc., etc.? And by the way, brand building is going to be the next thing which I'm going to talk about. But yeah, and then you just have to keep on rinse and repeating, right? And blogs, yes, I'm not telling you not to put up, not to write blogs, not to publish them, but you're just basically doing it too much, right? So you have to shift your focus, your priority back to the main core pages. Maybe think about how you can add more service pages instead, right? For example, or more service area pages, for example. In this way, you're also creating the topical relevance as well, right? Or the topical authority, whatever you want to call it. So you're adding more pages anyway, right? But you're doing it on another set of pages instead of blogs, right? So this is the first issue that I face all the time with, based on hundreds of SEO audits. This SEO mistake always end up, having them to remove the blocks, to clean things up, and then basically just slow things down for them, right? So the second SEO mistakes or SEO problems that I see all the time is ignore brand building. Probably about 5 or 6 years ago, you could still be doing SEO without thinking about doing branding, but nowadays it's not really impossible. Like hardly gonna work for you in the long term. You see, like this client here, I'm just showing you here. Even though they face some drops here due to some, some technical issues, or some a little bit, like a little bit of problems on their on page. But how did they quickly bounce back? The reason is because they have some kind of good branding behind it, right? Like always brand. You cannot just do SEO without thinking about doing other type of marketings anymore. It's not 2012, it's not 2013, where you could just be sitting behind computers and cranking out content and building links. It's not as simple as that anymore, guys. You need to focus on other marketing channels simply because you want to build out awareness about your brand, right? Be active on social media, do some advertisement, right? And that's why affiliate marketing, affiliate SEO has started to kind of go away nowadays. That's because a lot of affiliate websites, they all they do is just they pump out content and they do backlinks. But hardly any affiliate websites, they are proper brand, right? Sure, there are some proper brand affiliate website out there and they still got hit by the algorithm updates. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying the majority of people who are facing the problems, they also simply just think of SEO as the way to get traffic. Like they don't think about other ways, right? Like you have to incorporate other type of marketing into your SEO as well if you want to see long-term SEO growth and a quick bounce back from any updates like this. Like I'm not saying that if you just do branding and you're gonna see, yeah, you're never gonna get hit. It's impossible. Like at least once in your website lifetime, you will be getting some algorithm update hits. Like even though I know what I'm doing, like even this client, they know what they're doing. Like they also have been my clients before that as well, right? So obviously I did everything right, but at the end of the day, updates are updates. They still will get hit, but that's not the thing. The thing here is when you get hit, how quickly can you bounce back, and if you can do that, that's the mentality you need to keep, right? It's not just about ranking, it's also about adapting and recovering as well, right? And brand building is one of the key components that will help your SEO in the long term, whether it's about recovering or getting result, right? So start doing branding, guys. If you affiliate, then I know it's going to be difficult, but somehow have to try find a way to do it. If you already are business owners running e-commerce websites or local websites, don't just focus on SEO anymore. You have the budget to run ads, you have the budget to do social media, invest into that as well. Okay, third SEO problems and SEO mistakes I've been seeing all over and over again is overly doing SEO, right? So what I mean by overly doing SEO here, like it's not like the definition of spam doesn't mean stuffing in keywords anymore. SEO has changed a lot. Nowadays, Google doesn't just punish or basically restrict a website from ranking well just simply because they're stuffing in keywords hundreds of times onto their pages. Google now is targeting more and more SEO made content or SEO made strategies, right? So let's say you have a page here. Even though you're not stuffing in keywords like hundreds of times, but let's say if you put keywords already in your H2, keywords already sprinkled in here and there, and keyword in many of your H2s, and then you also build some links using a little bit of keyword anchor text as well, right? So you're doing some kinds of SEO activities on it, but for some obvious reason, it looks very SEO, right? Very SEO in the sense that you have keywords over in different places, even though they're not stuffed in, but still they're typical SEO styled content. And then when you build links, you also use keyword anchor text, which again is very typical SEO styled strategy, right? Even though you might think, oh, this is completely safe, you're not doing anything shady, you're not buying spammy links, you're not stuffing in keywords. It doesn't work anymore, guys. Even doing things like this, even following the common SEO strategies, quote unquote SEO strategies on the web nowadays, is gonna really get your site in trouble, guys. So I'm just saying here, on page over optimization is real. It's not just about stuffing in keywords anymore. There are different areas on the page you don't want to have keywords at all. Again, I've tested all this using single variable test, so I know exactly how to make your on page safe, right? But obviously I cannot share in this video. It's something which like is part of my research, part of my experiments that I only share with my SEO coaching students. Or if let's say I do it as a service, then I only do it with for my clients. But if you want to check out my SEO coaching program, you can click the link in the description down below, and maybe we can get in touch on that. But I'm just saying that the key takeaway from this here is, whatever the majority of SEO guidelines you're following, or whatever the majority of what SEOs out there online they're telling you what to do, try to think a little bit the opposite way. If they tell you to put keywords in the H2s, maybe start questioning about that. Think about if it is something that an SEO would do. Like, for example, keyword anchor text backlinks. Like normal business owners, obviously they won't be building links, so there will be very less chance of having keyword anchor text. Or let's say normal business owners, they might not even know SEO, right? So they might just write content naturally, and without even concerning about keywords. So start thinking about what a normal business would do and what an SEO would do, right? And then in this way, you're gonna be facing much less problems, right? This also goes beyond just keywords. It also goes into the area of, like, for example, ads, like having a lot of ads on your website or something like that, right? So think about how to improve your user experience. Think about how you can do SEO without leaving the smell of SEO, right? So that's the art. The art of SEO is not to do anything too less, but also not too much. Have to try to find a middle ground, and that's the sweet spot, right? The fourth SEO mistakes or problem that I see all the time is ignoring other pages. So what I mean by that, right? So coming back to this, so let's say you have many pages on your website, right? So there are many pages on your website, and let's say this page and this page are the two most important pages on your website. Okay, so they're like the the top keywords. They have like the highest search volume, and they're very highly commercial. So what do most people like to do? They'll just keep on focusing on doing SEO on all these pages, right? There's nothing wrong about that, but until it becomes a problem. The problem is, it also stems back to this point. You're overly doing it, right? When you keep on doing SEO on any specific pages for too long, it is much obvious that you're trying to do SEO on it. Like, even though you might be very careful of how you do things, but you cannot get away with it for sure. Like, I can guarantee you, at some point you trip over, and then Google will catch you. And then the problem here is, these pages, they'll become stuck, right? So what I mean by stuck here, like, you might have some pages ranking on page 2 or page 3, and they hardly move, right? Have you ever noticed those situations? Well, that's because Google's already caught you in most cases. But yeah, in some cases, you might not have done enough, so you have to keep on doing. But in a lot of cases, you have already done too much. So what do you have to do? You have to focus on other pages. What about other pages on your website, right? Have you built links to them yet? Have you optimized them properly yet? Because it's not just about ranking for a specific page. Your entire domain also has its own score. So you want to raise your overall authority of the domain, not just the pages, right? Google doesn't just rank pages, even though they say that, but yes, they also take into the account of the overall domain as well. So they do look into that. So you can't just focus on a few pages and expect it to rank. You have to also work on other pages as well. If you feel stuck, what do? Just move on, right? Move on, work on other pages. And until you know it, these two pages already have, let's say, rank number 1, number 2, right? So a lot of people, what they like to do is they just want to hammer doing SEO on one specific or two specific page, and they all end up getting, some kind of like stuck in quote unquote sandbox, where they're stuck. They cannot go any further. And when they're stuck, a lot of them will also try to go even further to push the boundaries even more. And when that happens, what eventually happens here is the algorithm update comes, and Google sees very clearly the website gets punished. Then the website is in a problem, gets into a problem. So don't ignore other pages, work on other pages as well. And lastly is bloat index, right? So what do you mean by bloat index? Bloat index means when there are bloat index means when there are too many unnecessary pages indexed in Google search, then your overall website quality is reduced. So basically, if let's say you have like 100 pages on the website, if let's say 70 pages are low quality, then the remaining 30 good pages will also be considered as low quality as well. This is what I mean by bloat index, right? So that also ties back to this first problem is, if you just keep on focusing on blogs, especially if they're low quality AI stuff blogs, then what you're gonna end up creating here is a lot of low quality pages, right? And when you create too many low quality pages, you end up having this bloat index, which makes other of your pages suffer as well. Like I said, there's a domain level score that you need to keep in mind. So if you make the majority of your pages low quality, the good ones are also going to suffer because they all exist on the same domain, right? So this problem doesn't just come based on, based on their intention. Like a lot of times it also comes due to technical issues. Like let's say the platform, the web platform they create, like for example WordPress, they like, some clients, they like to use tags pages. So tags pages end up creating bloat index problem as well, because tags are like categories, like, right? But the problem here is they get duplicated too many times, and then each tags are usually empty pages. So empty pages are low quality pages, right? So definitely it's gonna all end up hurting the website more. Or let's say they create blogs like in this point, then again they're ending up hurting their website more. Or it could be any other pages as well, right? So the best scenario to prevent this here is just create page when it is necessary, right? Just keep that in mind. Don't create page unnecessary. Every page on your website should have a valid reason to exist. Like, except about us, contact us, privacy policy, those are boilerplate pages. They're there just to tell your users who you are and how to contact you or stuff like that. But the rest other of your pages should have a valid reason to exist, right? Valid reasons, especially when it comes to like ranking. Let's say you create this service page, these two service page. Are you also trying to rank them or not? If not, then perhaps they might not be required to exist on the page, right? If they are only for the users, yes, you can have them, but also don't forget to no index them as well, right? Prevent them from getting indexed. That's it. What about these blogs? Is it a good article that might drive you a sales? If yes, yeah, keep it. But if it's just there for the sake of quote unquote topical relevance, then no, delete it. Not required, right? You have to think about your end goal. What is your end goal? Your end goal is business. Does this article bring you business or not? Does this service page bring you business or not? If not, remove them, right? So that's all. These are the top 5 SEO mistakes and problems that I've seen based on hundreds of audits. Obviously, there are others as well, but they're not that common. I mean, these 5 are the top common things that I've seen, and I'm pretty sure some of these are also new things to use as well. Like they're new things. Like for example, this one here, I don't think anyone talks about this, or even this one here. A lot of people are still, misguided by this information, something like that. So yeah, if you find this video valuable, make sure you press the like button and also subscribe to the channel for more, for more SEO, you can say scientific based SEO videos or knowledge, whatever you want to call it, because every of my case studies, every of my achievements, it doesn't just come based on guessing, but comes through scientific testing to know exactly how the algorithm works. Not really exactly, but to an extent where I can get results over and over again confidently, right? Because at this point, I can say that I'm confident in getting results pretty much in any niche. It's just going to take time, obviously, with a competitive niche, and of course, money as well. Competitive niche requires more time and money. Otherwise, SEO for me is pretty matured now, in the sense that I already know how to get results confidently in pretty much any niche. So yeah, that's all for it. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.